To me.
Good evening, everybody. Joe Colton looks really pale, but we'll be right back after our fun theme music. Good evening, everybody. It's Friday night. It's 9 p.m. It's time for the What's on Joe Biden TeamStream. I'm Mike Irizarry. This is a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. We appreciate you joining us tonight, or whenever you happen to be joining us, whether it be Friday or Saturday or Monday or 53 or whatever. If you're watching us on YouTube tonight, please like our video, subscribe to our channel, share us in your social media circles. That's the number one thing you can do to help us out the most is subscribe. If you're watching us on Facebook, go ahead and give us some kind of a reaction. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a heart. Give us a huggy guy. We love little huggy
Guy.
We love little huggy guy. So, but joining me this evening, you see him here in the top row, so we can partially obscure his square with our logo. Mm-hmm. It's the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe branded Hasbro, the Honcho Mark Weber.
Hey, who was conspicuous by his absence last week.
Yeah, we did. We billed it as medical emergency, and
kind of was, but everything's fine. But yeah, I don't usually call out 3 hours before the show, but yeah, I hit the silk last week, so everything's fine. Great to be back. Sorry I missed you, and I was so ready because I'm totally down with call sign Longbow, right? And I was ready to flash my patch. It looks like a trading card, but it's actually a patch. It's gorgeous. So
is the patch like, or is it put on something else?
It's a patch on a like a descriptive card. Really, really good marketing. Because they were handing these out at Joe Fest, I think. So anyway, big fan of this, and was disappointed A, that I missed at all, but B, that I missed the show when we were going to chat, live with the creator. So I definitely wanted to make sure I got my street cred back, and it didn't look like I just bailed out like, oh god, that stuff. Let me get out of the way.
Well, Troy will be back before too long when we get this thing off the ground.
Troy's the man. I tried to run him over in a parking lot at JoeCon in Loveland because I finally got out. I loved it. I loved doing shows, but I hadn't had lunch. And so I got out at like 5:40 at night, and I was just going to fly across the street and eat at whatever was there. And so I threw the rental car in reverse and damn near ran him over.
My Troy McKee story is that there was we had a rental car in Loveland, and there were a bunch of us going to that. There was at the Con Hotel at the other end of the parking lot was a Perkins.
Okay.
There was a big group of us getting together. We all piled into the Irizarry Godso minivan rental. And Troy was the last one. He happened on our group at the very last minute, so we put him in the trunk. So
the Irizarry Godso minivan rental sounds like a terrible ska band.
That's or one of those experimental techno groups.
Right. Yeah, it's like the you guys open for the Alan Parsons project, but not for long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the bottom row tonight, she's got her Terradome backdrop. She's the co-hostess with the co-mostess. She's back from GalaxyCon Richmond. It's Joe Colton, everyone.
Hi, guys. How are you? I'm very excited to be here. I have a Terradome backdrop.
Lovely. Again, right?
And again.
It's retro, but in the best possible way.
What's important is you're not bitter.
Always.
And you may notice that no Rack Time Rob tonight. Rack Time Rob is heaving germs all over the place, so he's back in the He's back in his own quarters, confined, quarantined, being gross.
Is it cold or is it COVID?
It's a cold.
Oh, so they said that colds are going to be really bad this year because we've been locked away for 2 years and have no immune system.
Nobody's been near anybody else for 2 years. So
I guess we can go back to licking each other now just to get antibodies.
I mean, Ragtime Rob is a special ed teacher, so he is bucking that trend the last 2 years anyway. Yeah. If there's one person that has been it pretty well just normal operating procedure, unfortunately, it's been him and his fellow special ed teachers. But because masks are not always possible with that crowd, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Nor is social distancing. So yeah, if something has knocked out the legendary immune system of Ragtime Rob, he needs to stay as far away from me as possible because I will die.
Imagine what it'll do to a mere mortal.
Right. I have a good immune system. I don't get sick very often, but he never gets sick. Like the fact he's used 3 sick days this week, and I think that's more than he had used in 3 years previous. That's crazy.
I gotta figure the immune system being tested on this show, though, would be Joe Colton, who had to face the most powerful strain of con crud ever, or at least the weakest immune system of the assembled folk. Yeah.
That's why she dresses up like people who sometimes have their faces covered.
Right. That's why
I had a mask, like it was red, blue, and yellow for my Wonder Woman, and I was like, I was above a lot of people, but then I was also like, I'm just gonna keep the mask on. It was hard with Batman. Batman was hard, so I just stayed away from people.
Well, when you put the mask over the ears, it doesn't.
It was cold.
It covers your eyes. It doesn't work well.
It just did this, and I was like, I'd have to like wrap it around, and like there's these clips that you can do for masks, but I didn't have any, and so even tying it, like it was so. It's the eyes and then the nose, and so it would like push my nose in and then cover my mouth. I was like, I'm gonna suffocate. So just stay away from people.
I gotta imagine the people really thinking about it went as Bane, right? Like wear a mask all weekend.
So right? There was only one guy, and he was enormous. Like he was like 6'6", dressed as Bane, tatted up. I was like, that's smart. All 3 days.
Bane doesn't have tats, does he?
No, but he had tats.
No. Okay.
And then he wore that big jacket inside. Okay. I was like, oh.
If you're wearing the jacket, I'll give it to you. But I'll give him credit for going to the first, I don't want to say post-COVID, but
yeah,
as cons open up to go as Bane and wear a mask the whole time.
Yeah. Not bad idea, man. Not bad. Yeah.
Well, we were at that one small show in Ohio last year, and we were masked up pretty well the entire time. So
yeah,
like it was, and that was a big room with not many people in it, and we still. So yeah, we'll see. There's some cons, which we will see very shortly, still have pretty strict COVID procedures in place. So
yeah, I as the Baroness, I had a black mask. It was pretty good. It was really slow, so I like you could take it off and like still have like people. There wasn't a lot of people. People are still working on Friday, so it was just like basically staff. Maybe I don't know, maybe 50 people we saw. So yeah.
And to recap, you were Crimson Baroness, Batman.
Batman.
Do I have to say female Batman? Because it's obviously not Batwoman. And if I
it's just Batman.
If I say you were Batman, I think people figure it out.
Yeah, I was Batman with boobs.
And what was the third?
Oh, stop Batman.
Wonder Woman. I didn't get a chance to put on my Ghostbusters because I had to meet Alan Richardson. He's the new Jack Reacher. He's tall.
Was he bigger than Bane?
No, that guy was like he looked scary out of a mask. I saw him at a diner after, and I was like, you look like you would cause some trouble.
The new Jack Reacher is a foot taller than Tom Cruise.
Oh, I'm sure he's a lot taller than Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I was in my Wonder Woman, and he was still taller than me. Like he was like, I was like, oh.
He could be 5'10" and be a foot taller than Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Tom Cruise is like 5'6", 5'7".
6-ish.
Maybe if he's wearing his booster shoes
and his middle tooth.
Ever since you told me, I can't unsee that now. Like, you're killing me.
I like that a guy that's been Hollywood's leading man for damn near 40 years, and kept himself in phenomenal shape as he got older. There's like a massive physical flaw with him that nobody noticed till like 5 years ago.
Well, he got his nose done first, because if you watch, what was that? He was in a movie with Patrick Swayze. Lost Boys? No. Was it Lost Boys? Outsiders, yes. So his nose is jacked up in that movie. He got it fixed after that movie.
And moved to the side, apparently, because it's not over the teeth anymore. Most people have the teeth moved. But
most people have a skull large enough to hold the full set of teeth.
Right.
Okay, I get it.
God, I'm sure if you pop that one out of there, like a dispenser would just shoot the other one out. Just anyways.
I also got to meet Ashley Eckstein.
Okay.
The voice of Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. Oh, she's tiny and she's very sweet. I let her hold my sword as Wonder Woman because she wanted to meet me. So she was like, "What? You want me? Can I really?" And I was like, "Yes, actress. Why are you freaking out over a sword?"
Did you meet her husband, the grittiest shortstop in Major League Baseball history?
I did not, but I met her dad. Her dad was really sweet. I hugged him.
I didn't know she was a David Eckstein bride.
Yes.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. You always got to watch the background back when shows that she's at, because the pretty short blonde dude who looks like he's in pretty good shape is probably David Eckstein.
Hold on, I gotta look this up.
He was a good player. Not a great player, but a good player for a long time.
Oh no, you're right. Mm-hmm. Damn. No, he wasn't there.
How much does she hate Rosario Dawson?
I don't think she hates Rosario Dawson. I think she was disappointed she wasn't even asked, because she did the motion capture for Clone Wars.
Look, Rosario Dawson didn't cast Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
Those folks understand that that's a business.
Mm-hmm.
The other actress did not make that decision.
It would have been cool if she did it. I think like they got a lot of backlash because of it, like Disney did. Because
it would have had to have cost Ashoka as like Tinkerbell.
She has a huge following. Like there was not even on Friday, there was a huge line, and she spends time with her fans. She's super nice. Like it was. I don't even know how to, like, it was like probably 6-7 rows deep to go see her. And I was like, that's insane. So.
Somebody posted
but you learned how to beat that by just being Wonder Woman, carrying around a sword.
Wonder Woman cuts the line with her big Amazon sword. Somebody posted on Facebook last year and said, Ahsoka Tano is the best developed Star Wars character of all time, and I will fight anybody who disagrees. And somebody posted underneath and said, well, she had 490 hours of screen time, so let's hope so. So sharp.
Yeah. She's got a following. I do want to thank Chris Arsaga for getting me a photo with her, so he's awesome. And a huge G.I. Joe fan.
I have fans. I would call it a commanding voice if anybody listened to me, but I don't think that happens. So,
Mark and I don't listen to you.
I'm not sure anybody else could keep the show on the rails. So the show we did without you, Mike, pure chaos. Look it up.
It was great. We survived.
Joe and Wes were drag racing somebody.
Unlike you guys, I actually watch the shows that I'm not on. So, yeah, I saw it. I saw part of it live.
Oh man,
but
it was great.
It was great.
At one point, they run over somebody. You can see the whole car bump.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of sitting there for a while. Just go. What are they doing to my program? What?
Yeah, and they I don't know if the guy no-sold it, the guy they ran over, but Wes and Joe were just like, yeah, speed bump.
Whatever. I gotta go. We gotta get home. I gotta get on What's on Joe Mine.
I think they actually sped up, which wasn't a bad idea.
I think we were still on when I was trying to get the key in the door to get in the house.
I think that's true. And at one point, I think you were on 3 wheels in the car, which is a lot harder than 2. Anybody can do 2.
It was brutal.
It's great. It was entertaining.
It was in its own way. It was our own, for lack of a better term, car wreck episode. But
pretty much,
like, we broke news that episode. That's the one that's the part that kills me. Like, there was actual things that we did in that show is important. Mm-hmm. And,
hey, give it to Wes. He's usually like a grandma driver. Man, he was like, I gotta get you home.
Taking out mailboxes and scattering children, and
it wasn't like Kansas City. He didn't elbow anybody. He didn't have his foot out the door taking out kids. Punting.
Oh goodness. I tell you what, let's we've blown a quarter hour of everybody's time at this point. Let's go ahead and get to our first segment tonight, which is the community calendar.
Oh.
There's a Comic-Con or a toy show. What's on Joe Mind? Wants to know. Tell Mike, Mark, and Joe. Community calendar.
Oh man, we might have to rethink that.
We premiered that last week. If you actually watched the shows that you weren't a part of, you know that.
I'm just saying that completely innocent picture of Joe does not look that innocent at high speed.
No, we're gonna get all the mileage out of this that we absolutely.
What?
I give it 2 toes up.
What is like I saw it. I was like, oh, he's got pictures, and then there's me, and I was like, why? Such a jerk.
When you send funny pictures, they're going to be used in funny circumstances.
I don't think I sent you that. I think you grabbed that when I posted it.
That was off Reddit.
That's entirely possible, but your long-standing rule is, when I ask you if I could use pictures, you always say, yeah, go ahead. You don't have to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, sure.
I'll pick this one. The one where I'm stuck in a shoe and I've got Maggie trying to rip my leg off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Look, you put it out there in the public domain.
Yep, I did.
You have a Facebook fan group with how many thousands of people in it? Far more than watch this program.
Oh yeah.
Far more than are subscribed to this program. And, it would be nice if you plugged the damn show once in a while.
I do.
Brought them around, but, whatever.
I just applied for another convention.
Yeah.
And I put on that I am a co-chair of What's on Joe Mind, a podcast.
There you go.
Did you?
I gotta believe that the people subscribed to Joe's fan group, they know about us. It's not that they don't know. They just don't like this restaurant.
They don't know.
They don't like it.
Nobody ever knows.
You don't got what they want.
No.
If
I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
Because frankly, there's a lot of them that I don't want to have what they want.
There you go. So ain't we both content?
Right? Like, there's a lot of them that they have a big cot in their basement.
Oh my God.
And like, I don't need to cater to that crowd.
Not that big.
Oh.
Just saying.
Yeah. Anyways, community calendar. First up, tomorrow and Sunday, it's the San Jose Super Toy Comic and Collectible Show. That is a great logo, by the way. I love that. Very, very, very minimalist. Very cool. But tomorrow, 9:30 to 4:30, March 27th, which is Sunday, that's 10 to 3:30. Early bird access at 9:30 is $20 at the door. Cash only. General admission is at 11:30, and that is $15. Be sure to visit the website listed there. That is www.timetunneltoys.com. For more details, there are still strict COVID-19 protocols in place, This is taking place in the Santa Clara Convention Center. So just like the Niners, they say that they're from one city, but then they go to Santa Clara. So yeah, but be sure to check out that website in advance if you're in the neighborhood of the San Jose Super Toy Comic and Collectible Show.
And bring a mask, apparently.
Right, absolutely, yeah. Masking is enforced, and yeah, it's like if you're not vaccinated, they're going to require vaccination cards or negative tests and things like that. So, absolutely, check out the website because we're not going through all that here for one show. That's like two of you might check out. Moving on. Next up is, of course, tomorrow is the Great Ohio Toy Show.
Yes.
That is at the Greene County Expo Center in Xenia, Ohio. That is outside of Dayton, Ohio. That is the James A. Kavanaugh Jr. neck of the woods.
Nice.
Also, the Warrior Princess neck of the woods.
Right, Xenia.
Yeah, I was like, is that actually Xenia?
It's not Xena, it's Xenia.
All right.
And it is $10 general admission. It is 9 to 4, I believe. I can't see. Yeah, 9 to 4. It's on the thing there. I'm sure that you could find all of the toys on the screen and then some available at the Great Ohio Toy Show.
Let's hope so. There's no Joe on that show, on that poster.
Nope.
Right?
Double He-Man image. Triple He-Man image.
Yeah, I was like, there's
4
a lot
if you count
of He-Man.
Battle Cat.
She-Ra, a Grumpy Bear.
Man.
Strawberry Shortcake.
Grumpy Bear is kind of my spirit animal.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a big Grumpy Bear.
I have a giant one. So when Wes and I started dating, I had him sit next to my Grumpy Bear. Not impressed.
I would imagine that that's kind of Wes's spirit animal too.
Yeah.
Because really my spirit animal is the Cookie Monster. But I don't know if he counts as an animal. So
Hey Siri. Great commercial.
I like Oscar the Grouch more.
Cookie Monster is America's greatest comic actor. He truly is.
Just cookies.
How'd Matt Tracker get on there and not G.I. Joe? Come on.
Firefly is taking a negative view. It's just going to be mostly Beanie Babies. No.
Firefly strikes me as a kind of negative guy, right?
No, he's a smart ass.
No, I meant the greater Firefly.
Do people still collect Beanie Babies? I thought
yes.
they crashed.
Well, they're not worth anything, but people collect them.
They had a huge crash. Why would you collect something like that?
I don't know. Why do people collect
Pops?
Why do people collect most anything that gets pushed out in millions upon millions of?
Because we're insane.
Right. So there's people who are still insane for Beanie Babies.
I feel sorry for those people.
I do. I ridicule them. Because what they love is not what I love. Therefore, they're dumb.
No.
It's an internet thing.
Oh, did you flip it?
Joe Colton, gatekeeping till the end.
Yeah. Sorry, that came out a little.
I heard a fourth voice, and I thought Rob had escaped from the quarantine ward.
No.
Yeah, no. His door has been sealed shut from the outside. So
right. Obviously, Wes's controller ran out of batteries.
No. Yes, he. I'm getting dessert. Hold on.
St. Peter's has defeated Purdue, which makes another one of my predictions come true. That Purdue, when faced with a very winnable game in an NCAA bracket, will lose it.
There you go. Gene Katie has to be so upset.
Maybe. He got
Drew Brees so mad right now.
He's probably madder than Gene Katie is.
Rod Woodson.
Gene Katie went to a Final Four, so he doesn't like getting out in the Sweet 16. This doesn't bother him.
Right.
He's still the most prolific coach in Purdue history because he got a Final Four in there.
And he managed to coach his entire career without anyone noticing the bolts in his neck.
Oh no, that we noticed. We noticed. It didn't matter, but we noticed.
That used to be the rallying cry of Purdue basketball. Bread good.
Fire bad. Gene Katie's such a mensch, though. He's such a good guy. At a time when the other coaches in the state were were Bob Knight and the lick spittle Digger Phelps.
Right.
He was the stuff.
Digger Phelps was on TV.
Legitimately nice person.
Digger Phelps was on TV for a long time for pretty much no reason.
Yeah. Well, nobody wanted to give him a coaching job anymore because he wasn't that good at it.
Right, but he wasn't that good at the whole broadcasting thing.
And he wasn't great at the broadcasting deal, but he had a lot of friends because he would kiss their butt, and so, that was it.
Is that baklava? No. I want to see Joe eat baklava in a Storm Shadow mask, because then it would be balaclava baklava.
Don't make her choke on it. You're muted, Joe Colton. Come on.
Sorry, it's called burrata. It's a custard with a phyllo pastry around it, and then you put cinnamon and powdered sugar on top.
Okay.
All right.
Never heard of it, but it sounds legit.
It's really good.
Welcome to What's on Joe Mind, your one-stop G.I. Joe podcast for college basketball and desserts.
Yeah, next week we'll be talking Zeppelis and Zupa. Did I miss anything?
You missed quite a bit, man. You missed quite a bit. You missed the catchphrase that we gave Troy for marketing. We call sign Longbow, thick in the crotch.
Whoa. Oh, nice. I'm terrified.
You guys really need to watch the show. That's all.
Beachhead came up with that?
That was the part of the discussion, yes. Next up, Steel City Con. A couple of weeks to go before this one. April 8th through 10th. That's at the Monroeville Convention Center, just outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is a big show. You do want to hit up steelcitycon.com for ticket information. The guests include Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Christopher Lloyd, Robert Englund, Christina Ricci, Christy Brinkley, John Bernthal, the wrestler Sting.
The
man called Sting.
Well,
the icon.
I can really vouch for this show. So in their December show, they usually do several during the year, but that's where I get a lot of ornaments and Christmas stuff. And they have a ton of G.I. Joes. So, and their guest list is always like,
oh, it's obnoxious. If you're alive and you were in a National Lampoon's Vacation movie,
you're at that con.
So yeah, it's that deep. They even have Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid's out of the pen.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be at Steel City Con.
And if you're a wrestling fan, huge wrestling city. So
Sting and Darby Allin will be there. Not a big wrestling list this time.
Okay.
Now, I'm not trying to poop on any con that we're letting you know about, but is Chevy Chase any good as a guest? Because he's known to be kind of a surly person.
I'm gonna guess so long as you're giving him $100 for a photo and a signature, he's probably okay.
Yeah.
He is not $100.
If he didn't really want to be there, he probably wouldn't be there. So, or didn't need to be there, maybe.
Rob asks, where's Anthony Michael Hall? Anthony Michael Hall is at Steel City Con, April 8th through 10th.
Yep.
He's part of the and more.
Right? I only had so much room. It was Anthony Michael Hall or the Punisher. I went with the Punisher.
Yeah.
What do you want from
God, Rob, go on the website.
Jesus, steelcitycon.com.
Drink some orange juice, Rob.
Finally, Firefly can get his Fletch soundtrack signed. Finally is right.
I hope somebody has a Lakers jersey for Fletch to sign. That'd be cool, dude. If you had one of those made,
That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
So that brings us up to the news. You're muted.
I was chewing.
And eating also, but.
We ask for so little.
I know.
That one smelled like cinnamon. So.
It's luxurious smell of it.
We've reached the scratch and sniff portion of our show.
Right. we should not be encouraging people to scratch the Joe Colton portion of their monitor to. Yeah, no, that's already. There's probably already enough people doing that. So
I don't think any other podcast has done that, breaking the fifth wall.
That's terrifying.
Just saying.
Breaking that fifth wall wall's dangerous because it's a load-bearing wall. But yeah, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty on G.I. Joe and España. 8 days left here. Pre-orders close on, or 6 days left here, I'm sorry. Pre-orders close on March 31st. So this is the last time we'll get pre-orders on this program, so we needed to make sure they were here. 8 full-color volumes detailing the release of G.I. Joe in Spain from 1988 to 1994. If you are at all interested in G.I. Joe in foreign countries and all the marketing and artwork and fun stuff connected with that, this is for you. If you read Spanish, even better, even though most of the first 7 volumes are predominantly photos, and you could probably follow along, even if you don't. But remember, hit up their website, gijoeandespaña.blogspot.com, for more information. Remember, pre-orders only there till the end of the month. So if you're on the fence, it's time to start making up your mind.
If you happen to have, what was it, $300 laying around?
Correct. It's vital for the history of the brand completed.
Yes. Sí, es el Joe de Robo y el Oso Grande y Honda E, or A, I guess. El Blanca.
They would call him E Honda because that's his name.
Would it be La Blanca or El Blanca? Because he's a dude.
It's probably El Blanca.
El Blanca. Like
but it's probably Blanca.
Like La Mano.
Like
that doesn't make sense, but it's right.
We don't call him the Blanca. He would just be Blanca.
Okay.
Unless he's got some crazy name like Lightning Man or something.
Maybe.
At which point, then he's El Hombre de Lightning.
I'm just looking at those 8, and these are the 8 you went with. I realize it's 88 to 94, so some of the classics are off the table, but
right. It's a little weird, but what can you do?
Can you imagine when Mirage and Robo Joe's agent got the phone call? They're like, we're going to be on the cover.
We finally made it.
EO version 2. What's that guy doing?
Not much.
Yeah. He was thrilled to get the call.
That Hasbro bought. That's what he's doing.
Thrilled to get the call. Yes, I'll do it. Where is it?
Enjoying retirement.
How much does it pay?
Next news item. We're going to continue with the pre-order bit here. A little bit more time left for the Robo Skull Mark II backer kit. That closes on April 30. Here, too, if you missed out on the Kickstarter for Robo Skull Mark II from Skeletron, excuse me. First off, go back and check out our episode with the guys from Skeletron with Ben Conway. Get a lot of the details there as far as what you're actually getting. But head up to roboskull.backerkit.com, get yourself signed in, and be a part of this one, because every collection needs a Robo Skull. I don't care what size collection you have, every single one.
I'm holding out to Robo Skull Mark Webb, the most powerful version.
Well, this one is a redhead. Very clearly.
Legit. That's why it's flying at night.
Perhaps even more. There's too much moon. He's got to be roasting.
It only has one real weakness. Only night missions.
So, yes. But again, we got a good month on this one yet. But I wanted to make sure we're keeping it fresh in everybody's mind, that if you're setting aside a couple of bucks, you still got about a month to go. Next news item. Hey, we got official word today from the fellas behind Total Action Force, Volume 2. That Kickstarter says coming soon. That is next week. That Kickstarter gets going. And I'm going to read you the following press release from the man himself, Brian Hickey, the guy who took that photo, who put together that art that you see on your screen. After a successfully funded, produced, and delivered campaign for Total Action Force The Battle Years in 2021, with over 200 satisfied backers, it's time for the international heroes to take the stage. You may be familiar with G.I. Joe, a real American hero, but what happens when America's finest fighting force needs to be sold overseas? The answer, at least partially, is release the toys with new geographically diverse biographies and develop a comic featuring the familiar characters in new locales. For Total Action Force Volume 2, we aim to bring you a hardcover 176-page definitive history There's that word, definitive. And guidebook to the Hasbro Action Force figures and vehicles released between 1987 and 1989. For a brief period, certain European countries received an amended version of the beloved Real American Hero toy line. Character biographies were changed to give the toys a more international flavor to appeal to a new audience, while the name of the successful Palitoy series was retained as a marketing tool. In tandem with covering the toys in detail, the book will also go behind the scenes on the Action Force Weekly comic and Action Force Monthly, published in the USA as G.I. Joe European Missions. Released by Marvel Comics UK to promote the toys, the comics contain new stories written and drawn by then up-and-coming creators who've gone on to become some of the most celebrated in comics. Artists and writers such as Mike Collins, Kev Hopgood, Grant Morrison, Jeff Sr., Steve Ewell, Simon Furman, and Brian Hitch all cut their teeth documenting the adventures of Action Force. The book will be full of their work, usage of which has been approved by the rights holder, as well as exclusive interviews with many of the creators. For our cover art, we're pleased to announce that Action Force alumni Mike Collins, who is a storyboard artist for Doctor Who and The Witcher, has been enlisted for this special mission. In keeping with Volume 1, which was an honorable mention at the most recent International Design Awards, Volume 2 will be a visual feast for its readers, with licensed usage of the comics art character profiles, for which, again, many were tweaked from their USA biographies. And, of course, it will be packed full of diorama photos showcasing Action Force's figures and vehicles. The Kickstarter campaign will require €35,000 to fund a limited print run of the hardcover book, with a number of tiers where backers can receive copies of the finished product, posters, and art prints in return for their support. If the campaign succeeds, further stretch goals will be available to expand the page count, include new Action Force art from a number of artists like Kev Hopgood, Steve Ewell, Jeff Sr., and Mike Collins, and reprint the sold-out Total Action Force The Battle Years, that's Volume 1, as a softcover. Our aim to make this the definitive guidebook in celebration of the vintage international heroes, toys, and comics, something that fans will read and reference for years to come. There you go.
Very nice.
So get ready for that next week.
I love their first book. I was one of those satisfied 200
Absolutely, same here.
backers. So and just I mean, just look at this photo. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian's fantastic with the work that he does.
Yep.
Really, like you need to, if you do nothing else, go follow Brian Hickey on Instagram.
Yeah,
at Brian the Hick.
Even if you think you don't like hickeys, you'll like Brian Hickey.
That's such a bad joke that I heard Racktime Rob cough.
What did I say? Yeah, already he's thinking, I don't feel so bad. See, I'm helping him.
Next news item. Oh my God. I think that's time for all of us to take a drink, right?
Right, time to take a drink. I hope Brian used that line on a girlfriend in the past.
I'm sure he did.
She's like, ow! And he's like, what'd you expect? Truth in advertising.
As we all know, yesterday was the opening of Walmart's Collector Con. We told you all about it last week. And, of course, we got some official reveals. Stuff we already knew was coming. Let's take a minute, review those reveals. First up, the beginning of Wave 1 for the G.I. Joe retro classified line. That is Baroness and Lady J. And then, of course, the second part of it, Destro and Gung Ho. So, I don't know what you guys were looking at in regards to the actual pre-order process, but man, that was something, wasn't it? Oh.
It wasn't that bad for me because I wasn't desperate, right, to get them. So I hit refresh a couple times on the phone over like a half an hour, and they all went through. It wasn't seamless, but it wasn't pain. It wasn't, brutal for me anyway.
I'm just saying, the largest retailer in the U.S., and they still can't put together a computer system that can accommodate people wanting to buy their stuff.
Yeah.
Very strange. But eventually, yes, all the pre-orders seem to be going through. These are available now. If you go to Walmart.com, I believe they were also available on Hasbro Pulse, but I think they're sold out there. But you can certainly give it a try. The Pulse is set up to take orders for this, if nothing else. We'll start with you, Joe Colton. Any of these on your list?
I am currently not buying anything.
What?
Yeah, I can't. The wallet is closed right now.
But I like what you've done here in that if you're not buying anything new, you're going out and reclaiming things that belong to you that aren't in your home.
Yep.
Case in point.
There you go.
Yep.
I mean, and for a Joe collector, this is actually one you could sit out, right?
Right.
The one here, I mean, the one here that's full of win is Gung Ho, right? Like,
yeah.
New parts, you know, how he should have been, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And the tattoo that they can't quite get from an IP perspective.
Yeah.
This is so much better than the original one. So not I mean, there was a lot okay with that first Gung Ho. I don't have any problem with them going a little more legit green than you know, vintage G1 look, but
they're both
the tattoo and the hat were just unforgivable. So
yeah,
this is really nice.
They're both really good figures. I would if I was getting one, I would get the Gung Ho.
Yeah, that first Gung Ho is, for me, it's the worst figure in the classified line.
Mm.
So they needed to do something else with Gung Ho, whether it's you know, the straight up 1983 action figure take, or maybe the more green comic book version, but something had to be done with Gung Ho that was not that.
Yeah. And Destro's not that different, but the Destro's one of the best figures.
Right.
So they changed it a bit. I'm not sure, other than the Javelin, what's different about Jay.
They sunbowed up Destro a little bit. Lady J, the Javelin's a little different. She's got her camera from the 1985 version, as opposed to the updated GoPro type gear that she's got on the current one.
Do we know if it's a new head?
It doesn't look like it. Nobody's ever said one way or the other, but it looks the same as the other Lady J in pictures. Baroness has a new face, and there's other details that are different on this Baroness figure. So if I was going to go for a second one, it would be Baroness.
Well, and Baroness is a great pick because this is one that was hard to find, came with a bike no one really liked, and so to make it slightly different and put it out single carded, yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Right.
And easy for me to say, because it used to be my own bane here, that, well, they should have put a new head on Lady J. Well, they probably should have, but if they're still running item count the same way, maybe they couldn't. Although, if they added new accessories back in my day, that would have meant new item, right? Would have cost from an item count perspective the same as a head-to-toe brand new skull. So now maybe there wasn't tooling budget for a new head, but I can't remember if the Joe community has really complained about a head in classified more than they did Lady J's. It was a pretty rough approximation of what we've become accustomed to her looking like.
So there's Racktime Rob jumping in with the hat has the jump wings. Again, also like the 85 figure.
Oh, cool. That's cool. But that was the only real complaint about the J figure, I think, was, wow, Chris Kattan face. So
entirely too harsh.
Would you say it's the worst face in the classified line? I might.
You know, I can't say that I've sat them down front to back to make that. Look, I'm not going to call it one of the stronger entries, but I think this idea that every female character just has to be more glamorous than the last is.
We're right. I don't need her to be a supermodel.
Right. Like I tuned out all of that stuff after the Wave 1 Scarlet came along. Mm-hmm. People either thought it was the best head for a figure ever or the worst one, and I just didn't care anymore.
I didn't like the tone of the hair, but that was obviously matching something for a video game. But the freckle work, as a guy with a lot of experience,
there you go,
best I've ever seen.
It had personality, which is why.
Yeah.
So
Freckles.
Freckles, hard to do. Hard to do freckles realistic and not have them look like measles.
Yeah. And all over people's faces.
Yeah.
See, I'm with Beta Ray Bob on that one. Lady J looked best in her Sunbow design. Although I do like the hat. I like that she's got. If they had done Sunbow with the hat, I'd have been all over. Anyways, yeah, I'm in on Gung Ho. I haven't worried about the other three just yet. Whatever. If I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah.
Cornelius McGillicuddy asks, how much do the Marines charge to use the logo? We don't know.
Don't know.
We were not at that table.
Wasn't a thing. When I was at Hasbro, we did the 4-inch Gung Ho, which was a big hit. Fond of that figure. Brand new sculpt, head to toe. We didn't get to do a whole lot of those, but they printed it too high. It's up the top. It's damn near on his Adam's apple.
It is a Cody Rhodes neck tattoo.
Oh, and when it was the best. It was the gem of that line. Yep. And when we got the first sample back, I'm like, yo, ring the bell. Tattoo's too high. And as almost always happened, they went, yep, too late. And I'm like, I've had the figure for 2 minutes. What's the point of sending us figures to proof if we can't fix what they did wrong?
Right.
Ugh, hated that.
If it makes you feel any better, that figure's still incredible, even with the kind of high placement. So.
Yeah, it's stunning, and makes me sad that we didn't have more tooling or item count to do more like that. Because head to toe, brand new sculpt. I mean, that's awesome. And that might have been the only one we did, because you can either do one brand new head to toe, brand new sculpt, or you can do like 5 new heads and 12 new accessories. Like, where are you gonna bite that bullet? But that Gung Ho was a proud moment. Other than the stupid tattoo being too high, not the stupid tattoo, the cool tattoo being stupidly high on his chest. But
right.
I almost got away with it being said, yeah, Mark called the EGA stupid.
Yeah.
It's not what I said.
That's not what you need is a nation full of Marines coming.
Right. One of my very best friends is a Marine. So I want to make sure I'm very clear about that.
I mean, you don't want that necessarily under happy circumstances, because you got to try to feed them.
Yeah, well, that's a good point too.
Under bad circumstances, definitely not. So Joe Colton's not buying anything. Mark Weber, how many of these are you in for?
I'm in. I got all 4.
All 4, okay.
I think anytime I can actually get a pre-order in, I should support any company that manages to run a successful pre-order.
Oh boy.
But anyways, yeah, we saw these guys back when Hasbro did their Fan First Friday for G.I. Joe. This was just the official confirmation with all the fun marketing picks and all that stuff. So we figured it was a good opportunity to bring those to you. The news item with the most meat on the bones coming up, though.
Toot, 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 toot.
All right. Super7 Ultimate Wave 3. Announced kind of out of the blue. They just decided, they let us know on Monday, hey, watch this space tomorrow. And then Tuesday, boom, there. Yeah. So, excellent.
Yeah.
This is great stuff front to back, and we'll you see the 4 figures there. That's the Cobra Trooper in his Sunbow inspired garb. That's Scarlet, Storm Shadow, and Doc, who's an interesting choice. We'll start with that Cobra Trooper. He has 2 interchangeable heads. That is 1 light-skinned and 1 dark-skinned. 14 interchangeable hands. That is 3 sets of each, plus an extra hand to hold the whip weapon, which we'll talk about later, for, again, each of those skin tones. It's got the classic Dragunov sniper rifle from the 82 action figure. It's also got the Sunbow Cobra laser rifle, that generic thing that makes the cool noise. Got a Cobra laser pistol, a walkie-talkie. It's got the electric whip that they use to subdue Quick Kick in Lasers in the Night. And it's got the briefcase bomb from Cobra Quake that Bazooka had to try and disarm.
That's who I'd pick.
Right. That's the guy. That's the one. In the episode where there were episodes of the old show where they wrote Bazooka as kind of dumb, and there were other ones where they wrote him as not being dumb. But in the one where they wrote him as the dumbest, they made him the explosives guy, and that. Anyways, so yeah, Cobra Trooper is pretty badass. This is a better treatment than I would have expected the generic Cobra Trooper to get. Joe Colton, what you thought? What you thinking?
I like him. I just can't get him.
Well, no. You've already elaborated on that.
Yes. I like the amount. I like that there's interchangeable heads. I like the options for hands. My God, I think we went a little overboard, but whatever, it's fine. The weapons are nice. I like him. I would get him. I suggest you army build them because I'm pretty sure they're going to go up in price.
Beta Ray Bob with a good question here. If he comes with a dark skin head, what do they do about the neck? The neck is the neck is part of the interchangeable head. So yes, the neck can be replaced as well.
That would really look weird.
You're right. Mark Weber.
He's great. I like that. One of the things I really like is that they are very faithful to Sunbow, but they also know to give you the Dragon of Sniper rifle, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are some people who wouldn't buy it without it. So, it doesn't. If they were going to put another weapon in, why not make it the iconic weapon of the the 82 Cobra Trooper? So, I know a couple of the guys working on this line, but I work with them on McFarlane, and they're fantastic, and I love what they're doing. Some of it is above, I won't say the pay grade, but this is one that they are kind of spendy, but they give you a lot. But at some point, you got to draw the line. So this is not one that I'm picking up. If it was, I think I kept a bat. So if it was something where being 7 inches would make it, they would still fit in with my 6-inch Joes, I might be in. So for really tall figures, Roadblock, maybe Gung Ho, Road Pig, guys who are supposed to be towering, who Hasbro might not get to or might not get to for a while, I'll consider those. But the ones that are just supposed to be, the same-ish size as everyone else, at $50 each, it was a place. You got to draw the line somewhere. So
right.
that's where my line got drawn. I do get some of their 5 POA Joes if I think I can hide them in a turret, or like I got the Blue Baroness, right? Because it was such a good representation of that version of the Baroness that, all right, I'll excuse the 5 points of articulation. I understand that's their business model for that line. So I get why they're doing it, but it makes me be a little bit picky. So no, I am not ripping on this line or the reaction guys at all. I get what they're doing, and I love 2 of the guys who are working on this line. So kudos to them. But at the same token, it's one that I decided, I don't think I'm going to go there.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with the Super 7 Ultimates. I love this line. It's fantastic. I'm glad it's there. Mm-hmm. If you've got the money to spend on a high-end line like this, more power to you. I don't. Yeah. Pat, I know a favorite or 2 is probably going to come along at some point, and I will. I'm not going to get shut out on this line.
Yeah.
But there's nobody there that I've just broken that rule for just yet.
Yeah. No beachhead yet.
No beachhead. No. Look, Sunbow Flash rolls down the pike. Oh. I'm all over Sunbow Flash.
What was the in the early mid 2000s the 12-inch line that was so detailed and phenomenal? Sideshow. When Sideshow came along, I was like, oh my God, I can't swim in that pool. Wish I could have. They were fantastic.
I do have the Sideshow beachhead, but I got them used.
Yeah. And if they had made one of my guys, I think I would have been in. But I knew I just wouldn't be able to afford collecting that line. And luckily my guys, Ace, Thunder, Interrogator, Steeler, they're not Wave 1 material. So I managed to avoid that. I think in the end, I got a Baroness cheap. I don't remember how. And then I got gifted a Destro. So I have those two.
Nice.
And I'm like, that's a good pair to have, right? Couple, I guess, to have.
I got William a Duke for his birthday, and then I got my ex several of those. Like I got him a Viper, a Trooper. I think I got him Cobra Commander. Yeah, I got a bunch. A Flint.
You can imagine that guy going. So whatever happened with you two? Like, she got me too many Sideshow Joes. It didn't work out.
So, I have the Baroness, though. I wanted a Scarlet, but then they made the statue, and our HVAC went out, so I had to cancel my order.
HVAC kind of trumps everything.
Yeah, Wes was like, babe,
Yeah.
we need AC. Your mom's gonna die.
Yeah.
That's framing it well there. Your mom's gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On one hand, mom dead, but the other Scarlet statue.
Yeah, so
okay.
close, man. So close.
Yeah.
Mom understood. I think she would have been okay.
Right.
Look, mom bakes cookies, so Scarlet Statue's got to go find someplace else.
Which apparently is not a genetically passed on skill.
No.
Just saying.
No.
Joe's a good cook, I'm told, but a scourge of the cookie world.
Only Joe's smoke detector knows for sure.
On some level, she's the cookie monster.
Yeah. Wes has decided that when we have kids, he is the one baking the cookies.
That's for the best.
Yeah.
That's for the best.
He's actually told people, like, outside of our friends group this.
Priorities. You could have the only kids at school who are like straight up, no, I don't like cookies. Cookies are terrible. Do you want a cookie, Sally? No. No.
Just run screaming from the room wordlessly.
Some other kid will be like, I'll trade you a cookie for your celery stick. Not taking that money.
She just snarls at him.
Not again.
Next up is Doc. And Doc is chock full of accessories as well. He's got 3 interchangeable heads.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, 1 smiling, 1 yelling, and 1 neutral. Can we call the yelling head the Joe Colton head? Anyways, 8 interchangeable hands. He's got a removable helmet, as you can see in the promo picture. He's got the Sunbow G.I. Joe snow job laser rifle. He's got the flare launcher, which you see there in his hands. He's got the flare gun, which is you see on his belt. Got a walkie-talkie. He's got his comic book, which he was reading in Countdown for Zartan. He's got a medical kit, and he's got a side satchel.
And bell bottoms.
And, oh, no.
Maybe.
No, just not bell bottoms. Anyways, Doc, interesting choice for Wave 3.
Yeah.
Mark,
I'm glad they made him.
Yeah, you go first, Mark Weber. What's up with how do you feel about Doc?
I mean, I just loved when I first saw the image. I'm like, it's so cool to see a pretty mainstream character that hasn't been done by anybody, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we never get Doc. So I thought that was cool. And I was absolutely blown away. And hopefully this isn't just Photoshop trickery. The glasses are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because they're that heavy green that you expect from Doc, but they're still translucent. You can see the eyes behind them, right? So it's not like a visor material, right? They're actually glasses, which is great. So I thought this was it. Like I said, I'm not collecting this line, but I thought about Doc for a little bit because, man, he looks great. If he was 6 inches tall and fit in with all my other classified guys, I think I'd absolutely be in. But I can't have Doc towering above Gung Ho, right? That's just not.
So Doc can dunk, no big deal.
Yeah, I suppose, but
Cornelius McGillicuddy asked the big question. Doc is a pacifist. Why would he have a laser rifle? Because he had one on the cartoon in a number of spots. It's not right, but for whatever reason, the animators would put him with a laser rifle in a lot of background shots. He'd be in the firefight with everybody else. So.
Maybe he could protect people by threatening with the rifle, but not actually use it.
I think every one of the Joes should come with one of those rifles. So I'm okay with him being there, even if I would never use it to display myself.
he would use it to protect the wounded.
He comes with everything he should.
Yeah.
So if he comes with something extra, fine.
Right.
I mean, what's the harm? Give it to somebody else.
Well,
if somebody ever doesn't come with it.
You see, Joe Colton, he's got that red cross on his uniform, so if he starts firing a weapon at somebody else, it's against the Geneva Convention. Doc is a war criminal if he shoots at somebody.
Not if they shoot first.
Right. And unfortunately, he can't go back to his job at TGI Fridays because he's only got 2 pieces of flair.
Right.
See,
I think he's cool. I like the glasses a lot. It's interesting that he comes with 8 interchangeable hands instead of 14.
Well, I think that's the 14 are largely because they're duplicating the 2 different skin tones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So whereas Doc, they're just sticking with 1.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Probably a good idea.
Although actually, no, one of the hands for Doc is actually medical gloves.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, well, that's cool. I kind of like that.
Yeah, he's kind of got it almost. I call them his Mickey Mouse hands because that's kind of what it.
Right.
You know,
it's for when the Young Bucks cut themselves badly in the ring.
Right.
I'm just kidding. They don't cut themselves.
Well, yeah, but anyway,
that's fine.
Anyhow, Joe Colton, you're not in on Doc because you're not fun anymore.
I'm not fun anymore. I would consider getting this one.
I like Doc was one of my favorites when I was a kid, but I he's just not quite high enough on that list.
Like if I had to pick anybody so far, it'd be Doc.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Next up is Storm Shadow.
Why are you doing this to me?
He's good. Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you?
He's got 2 heads, one neutral, which how else are you when you have a ninja mask on? One's got a diving mask over the ninja mask. He's got 10 interchangeable
for
hands.
COVID, Joe, for COVID.
10 interchangeable hands. He's got an interchangeable forearm.
Yeah.
Which has the unwrapped and shows the Arashikaji tattoo. He's got a katana. He's got a wakizashi. He's got a tanto. He's got 3 shuriken, a bow with 3 arrows, a set of nunchaku, a sniper rifle of indeterminate origin, and best of all, he's got Excalibur.
I mean,
that glows in the dark. It's so he can bring that brute Footloose down, as you saw in the cartoon, because nothing can stop Footloose except huge pillars of stone. But so anyways, Storm Shadow. Joe Colton, how upset are you that you're not buying anything?
He looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a Storm Shadow guy, and I had him in the cart, and I ultimately had to talk my way out of it.
I'm glad I didn't see it because I would have done the impulse buy, but and then maybe.
I mean, interchangeable forearm. That's phenomenal. And it's not just unwrapped, right? It's like Silent Mission, right? Or the Silent Issue, where it's coming loose, right? And you can see little whispers of the tattoo. Like, yeah, this is all in. It looks great.
Yeah.
Comes with Tonto, but not the Lone Ranger. That's fine.
It's fine. He looks great. He does. He seriously does.
He does. Absolutely worth your $55 on a high-end collection right here.
What is the sniper rifle from a specific episode? Because it has a unique look and it's pure blue. So,
right. I think so, but I didn't remember what it was offhand, and I was
maybe the peanut gallery knows.
Yeah, I was short on prep time this week, so I didn't have time to go looking for it. If I didn't know what the episode was off the top of my head, I didn't include the details.
I had lots of time, but I'm lazy. Just being honest.
Here we go. Barking Fridge. Within seconds. Sniper rifle issue 24.
Slick.
What? Barking Fridge.
Barking Fridge is on it. From when he rescued Cobra Commander, according to Viper Scout.
Ah, there we go.
There you go. All right. That now that they say that, I remember it, but I could have sat here all day.
Right.
Not pulled that out.
But I like what they're doing with it because it is Sunbow focused, right? But they grabbed the Dragunov from the actual 82 Real American Hero launch. They're grabbing that sniper rifle from the comic.
Right.
Like this is for people who didn't own G.I. Joe, right? They're licensing it. They obviously, if they didn't have somebody who knew, they are doing fantastic research here.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're really doing their best to find what encapsulates these characters in pop culture and getting as much of it in that package as they can. It's really great work.
Yep. Very, very proud of the work they're doing.
Michael Mercy says, I bet Footloose could snap Excalibur with his bare hands. I think that's assumed.
Yeah.
That's why they got to give it to the ninja, because he's the only one fast enough to keep it away from him.
The only guy who could take down Excalibur wielding Storm Shadow in his prime, Tiger Force Toll Boot. He's got the helmet.
And
or maybe Recoil, because he's got the Devo helmet. So
he's not men, he's Devo.
That's it.
We're really more of a Talking Heads podcast anyway.
Recoil should.
If anybody ever did Road to Nowhere like us, I don't know who it is.
Recoil should probably get that electric whip, right? Yes. I'm not even going to say it. That joke writes itself.
Right. No, they used it to subdue Quick Kick, and then later Quick Kick used it to, I think, knock Destro's fang out of the air. I don't know. That episode annoyed me so much.
Look, if I saw Quick Kick filming a commercial in the Arctic barefoot with no shirt, I'd want every weapon possible. Obviously, that guy can handle himself.
Yeah, he is BAMF. That's for certain. Remember, as we avoid the swear jar, we've got the swear jar. It's all linked to our coffee account down below. Join the Magnificent Seven and be a monthly contributor. We'll get your name on the end of the episode. Links below. But next up and last for Wave 3 is Scarlet.
Right-handed.
Right-handed, yes. She's got,
as God intended,
3 interchangeable heads, 1 neutral, 1 yelling, and 1 with the communicator earpiece that she's always in the Sky Striker with. She's got the large crossbow, which is pictured. She's got a small one-hand crossbow. 3 thermal arrows, which we saw in the first miniseries. Got the grapple arrow with the rope, and that's from Cobra Stops the World. Got the jammer arrow, which is from that one with the ghosts. Got the incendiary arrow, which I don't remember at all. Got the walkie-talkie. And then, curiously, an M16, which we saw a lot of in the first miniseries. But no snow job rifle for her, but she's got an M16 to fire real bullets at Cobra. Joe Colton, you're our senior Scarlet correspondent. What do you think?
I like her. I like her a lot. Like, between her and Storm Shadow, I'd be like, oof, impulse buy. I love her boots. I love that they have the pockets on the inside and the outside. I like the color, like the mustard color that they're using. And I like that her hair doesn't have this white streak in it. She's an actual redhead.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
rumor has it.
No, that color is not an actual redhead.
No, I know.
Well, you know what?
Neither was it in the Sunbow.
As your senior redhead correspondent, let me break it down for you. I don't care if it's strawberry blonde. I don't care if it's straight out of a bottle. If your hair's even a little bit red, you're on the team. There ain't a lot of us. So, what's the most popular?
They're a dying breed.
What's the most popular hair dye out there worldwide? You got it. Red. So
they call it honcho red.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
There's that. It's actual scripture. It says, "For many are called, but few are chosen." That's what I'm talking about. 2% of the world has red hair. 2% of redheads have blue eyes. So you're welcome.
Barking Fridge adds, Joe needs to do an entire photo shoot shooting the crossbow left-handed. or with 2 crossbows.
Oh
I
yeah.
have 2 crossbows. I can probably do it.
Who was? See, this is bad that I don't remember. But who was the Asian director of that always had the guys with the 2 guns? I'm gonna blank on it.
What now?
What?
There was a John Woo. John Woo.
Okay.
Oh.
His guys were always so yeah. Get some John Woo crossbow action going.
I don't know how that would work. Like,
Just have to have
you'd have to shoot at 2 different people, probably. Or you can go. I guess you do it gangster style. Turn them sideways.
oh my god, I can't.
Like this. Pow pow.
Mark Weber, your thoughts on Scarlet?
She's great. I mean, she's so authentic to what they originally did. The one bit I might like to have seen, because they did it with Storm Shadow, is to have hands that could throw or hold the shuriken off her
Oh yeah.
off her gauntlets. But she didn't use those a whole lot, right?
No.
Nobody ever thought of her as throwing star girl, right?
No, I think she used them a couple times in the comic, but I don't think she ever did in the animation.
Yeah, maybe if they'd have just done one extra hand that could have handled that. But I mean, she's slick. The one thing I don't want to say it ages poorly, but the only part of the original Scarlet design I really don't like, and it was something that we pushed when I was on the Joe team, was we got rid of the leotard completely and said unless it's a pure retro play, give her pants, right? It can stay the same right above the belt, but it looks like a leotard or a bathing suit. And I always the part of the Joe comics when she was in charge, that was my favorite look for Scarlet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she had like heavy combat pants that were gray, and it worked perfectly. And she still had the tannish yellow top, and it all worked. But when I was helping with the comics on Joe at Hasbro, we said we're getting rid of that entirely. No more of that unless it's a straight cover playing off the 82 figure. So
I like how the Sideshow collectible statue did it. Like they had like elements of like the armor was like that mustard yellow, and so it replaced the leotard.
Yeah. And the basic idea, if that's her Kevlar, basically, right? Mm-hmm. That's where she wants to be shot. Yeah. So why not make it bright yellow?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Aim here. May as well paint a target on the belly button and be like right here. So I think they did that in a Punisher comic once too, when they were like, so you paint a big white skull on your chest, and he was like, that's where my best armor is. So yeah, that's where I want the eye to go. Mm-hmm. Cool, I get it.
So Firefly doing the deep dive. Is this the first really good figure of Scarlet? You've said in the past she hasn't got a truly good one up to this point. It's favorite in the clubhouse. Obviously, don't have it in hand, so I'm not going to pass final judgment. But favorite,
concept.
Yeah, I'm inclined to think that it may be, even if it's not the best design of Scarlet, as Marcus said, he prefers more modern design with Scarlet's uniform. Mm-hmm. But if you're going for this look, it could well be.
Yeah. And just to be clear, I understand exactly why they're doing it this way. Absolutely. But I prefer a more modernized version. But this is great. This is a great figure.
I think Classified has done Scarlet well. I think both the Classified Scarlet and the movie Scarlet.
There was things wrong with that Scarlet.
There were, but
just the knife.
Good.
The knife and the two-tone hair.
They're just bad.
And the blue highlights of like weird lighting thing. Like get the blue.
And Renegade Scarlet was fun.
Yeah.
That was a good design too. With elements of the original, but again, a more contemporary look.
And one of the worst faces ever, though. Oh.
Come on now.
I don't know which version. I don't remember the version number, but the one where her neck, she's like this. That was the worst, I thought. I was like, why is she a hunchback? Like,
she's walking like an Egyptian.
She's like... It was awful. I fucking hated that figure. I already swore before. Our opening, yeah, I called him an ass.
Oh, but it got cut off. It was perfect.
That doesn't count as a swear. You can say ass all day long. It's not a swear.
Well, she had a good head sculpt, but the rest, like the neck thing, is just I couldn't handle that figure. I wanted to heat it up and like straighten her neck out.
Anyway,
Diana Davis points out that Scarlet doesn't date Snake Eyes.
we don't read comments that don't get to the screen.
That does not.
But in her defense, that Scarlet also looks pretty frustrated.
Yeah,
So,
see, that's what I'm saying.
You
So
know,
that's the end.
She comes with 3 heads. Frustrated, frustrated, and frustrated.
That's Ritz Murphy asked, "Do we like the retro Scarlet from Walmart?" It was okay. I'm not going to say it was great. It was the construction on it was kind of janky, and that took away from the better part. A good head sculpt on that one, but it was.
Which one's that? Oh, the Forest.
That Rob got the empty box.
That's right.
Yeah,
that was a good
so,
head sculpt.
That brings us up to we'll chat with the crowd a little bit. If you have questions, really about anything G.I. Joe related, we got some time to take those from you. So start getting those into. See, Barking Fridge is with me there. Ass was deswearified with NYPD Blue, kind of.
All right.
If we had a Dennis Franz's ass on TV, ass is not. It's not going to be a swear anymore.
Series killer.
That was like season 4. That thing ran forever.
Nope.
Yeah. I just remember walking in the room. Oh, Sipowicz, come on! Ugh. Hans Chow. Snake Eyes is a terrible boyfriend. Yes or no? Joe Colton, you've had boyfriends. You're the one most uniquely qualified to answer this question.
As our senior boyfriend correspondent.
I am.
You are.
Depends on the day.
I mean, he's not much for conversation.
It's really quiet.
But if you needed somebody to carry your trapped body out of a burning helicopter,
I'd choose him. If I wanted a dinner date, definitely a Duke. Good conversation.
Ouch.
I don't know.
Alcord says, guys have been killing it the last 11 years. What do you want from us, man? Killing it. Thank you. We appreciate that.
I don't know. I might rather have dinner with a silent Snake Eyes than a talking Duke. I'm just saying.
I mean, if Snake Eyes, you have to watch him eat. So that's more points off.
Ooh, that's a good point.
I mean, there's more to this horrible boyfriend debate than we thought, isn't there?
Indeed.
I bet Snake Eyes slurps his drinks. That get old.
He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have cheeks.
That get old.
Matt O'Brien says, please check out the photo of Gung Ho holding the gun with both hands. Is it just me or do his biceps look weird?
His biceps look weird. He's got a horizontal cut across his belly.
The vest covers that.
Sort of.
Bring that back up here.
No. And watch how often they do
No, it's because they turned his bicep sideways, so it's got that hook.
Watch how often both Hasbro and Super7 do this. They are very clearly use the posing of their photography to cover up that jacked up, brutal chest cut all the time.
Yeah.
They hear you, Mark. They're tired of you, man.
They're like, oh my God, if he would just stop with this chest cut.
Guess what? Spoiler alert. Never gonna stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Something to be said for consistency. But Joe's dead on right about the misarticulation of the arm here.
Yeah.
For the photo. That's why managers of global brand development are down there to oversee the photo shoots.
Yeah,
they don't. The worst. When I was on Transformers, right? And no offense to the photographers, because they do brilliant work. But transforming robots ain't part of their job. So if you want the official photography to look good in both modes, get your ass on down there. See,
right.
I used it too.
Britt Anderson asks, what figure would you most like to see in the Ultimates line? Mark Webber.
Interrogator, right? My guy. But given my own, how I collect, the only stuff I'm probably going to get is stuff that Hasbro likely won't do soon, that is big enough to be in the 7-inch scale versus my 6-inch classified guys. So we're talking Road Pig. We got plenty of Roadblocks, right? We already got Gung Ho, and Road Pig might be the guy, right? Just to be absolutely massive.
Big Boa would be cool.
Yeah, Big Boa would look cool. Like that's the kind of stuff we need, or I need, not we. I need for my own collection. Got to be huge. So maybe Robo Joe would work. Like, yeah, see.
Joe Colton, what figure would you like to see most in your Ultimates line?
I'm gonna go with Mark on this. Like, it's got to be big, right? And it's got to be something that isn't gonna be made. So yeah, like I would go with like a Big Boa. I don't know. I'm torn if they would do a low light, because if they wouldn't do a low light, then I'd do low light. He's a tall guy.
He's not that.
I never read him as tall.
He's no taller than anybody else.
Eh,
I always pictured him tall.
he could be. I
Sunbow
thought you'd go for that. Oh, sorry, I stepped all over it, Mike. What'd you say?
Sunbow Flash.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely. I need to reenact Operation Mind Menace, and that gets me half the way there.
What if they did a Crimson Guard karate crossover for Joe called a Fred Ninja? They all look alike. You couldn't ever have enough because they've been altered by plastic surgery. The Fred Ninjas that's just money waiting to be made.
Cornelius McGillicuddy asks, if Hasbro has retired the hooded Cobra Commander, why don't they say so, if only to get people to stop asking about it? And this is a common misconception. Hasbro's never said that they've retired it. It's just that when Super7 was asked if they could do one, they were told no. So that's the only information that's ever been put out about Cobra Commander and the hood. I mean, anything more than that is speculative. No two ways about it. Nothing else has been said about hooded Cobra Commander. Nothing.
Chris Farney has a good selection here that's close to my heart.
Hang on, I'm not that far down yet. Rob says, I bet Duke just talks about work.
And how great he is.
Yeah. Pretty boy. I get annoying.
Frat boy. You know he was a frat boy.
I don't know.
You don't think?
He probably was.
Yeah.
Flint was.
You got Alpha Sigma written all over. Oh, you see what I did there? It's like a code.
Yep.
See? That's right. And it doesn't have to be there.
Brushstroke asks, will we get a water moccasin? I wouldn't count on it anytime soon.
That's another guy that might work at the 7-inch scale, though. Copperhead was always
Copperhead
supposed to
would
be
be fantastic,
beast,
but-
right?
Yeah.
I don't see a water moccasin happening.
I mean, that's the upper level, right? A moccasin's smaller than a hiss overall, don't you think?
6 of one doesn't have the other.
Similar, but at least that's not a lunatic request, right?
It is not.
Is that the flag? I had a conversation at GalaxyCon with somebody, and they were like, "Oh, it would be great if they would do like HasLab's going to do a flag," and I was like, "Are you insane?" Like, no, it could work because like we got the other thing, and I was like, this is not going to happen. Stop.
They barely got a 4-inch.
I don't think they're going to do I don't think Super 7's going to do any non-Sunbow characters.
Oh, okay.
I'll say, Quinn was big on the cartoon.
Oh yeah, Quinn would be cool.
They did him in
the reaction.
reaction.
I don't think they would do a flag. Like, he was adamant though. I was like,
he's a fool.
They barely got a Sky Striker
right? Like,
at 4-inch scale.
He was like, no, you know why it wouldn't work is because they can't do like 4 releases in a month or 2. And I was like, that's not why it didn't work.
Yeah. See, this doesn't work. Andrew Gaugan down at the bottom suggests October Guard for Super 7. But
We'll get there.
sorry. But
Big bear.
You can't put up comments that people can't see. It's bad.
Fair enough.
It's been our policy since the beginning.
You
It's your
work
policy.
slow.
I know I gotta speed up, but I'm going through them all.
I'm a policy breaker.
If I stop to talk about the question, then the new questions don't come up right away.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you think Hasbro will ever add new characters? I love the old figures, but I'd love to see something new. I don't. Yeah, no, not anytime.
No.
They already added their last few new characters.
There's nothing to introduce new characters right now. There's a comic that not too many people read.
Yeah.
And
I only know one guy who ever fought for new characters.
And yeah, right. And they fired him.
Well, they eliminated. Let's be very clear. They eliminated his position.
And but there's a comic book that not too many people read that is stuffed full of characters as it is. So if that book were to become a bigger deal, or there was, say, some animation out there as a medium to introduce new characters, I think we would see new characters. But just cold on the pegs, no.
It's the flag all over again.
I'll keep hoping for October Garden Classified. I hope so.
Yeah, that I would pop for that.
Hey, if Super7 did Dragonsky, because he's a big guy, I'm all over that. I love Dragonsky. He's on my short list. Like, I don't mention him enough, but dude, he's cool. Big purple flamethrower from Russia. Yes.
Yeah.
Codename Barney, but that's okay.
Cornelius McGillicuddy, do you think Hasbro should bring back Adventure Team and use it to the kids? I'm going to guess market that to kids. I don't think it would hurt anything. I think you could take Sigma 6 was starting to head that way, where they were incorporating classic characters into Adventure Team type situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought those were pretty cool, but it was at the end of Sigma 6 and everything was kind of dying off, so it didn't get the chance. But I'd be open to that. I'd certainly buy it. I'm all into having more ephemera to put on my GI Joe shelves.
But to be clear, they haven't marketed Joe to kids specifically since Renegades, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah. So that's good on one level for collectors because they're like, hey, they're selling to us. They definitely are.
Call Sign Longbow going to have tons of new characters.
That's true. But that's not growth for the brand at all. That's not the sign of a brand they believe in long term. Not on a huge scale. That is.
Comic just dumped a load of new characters on us. And as far as the toys go, there's no ripple there. So we still haven't seen a toy version of Dawn Moreno, and she was a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably knew that IDW's contract was going to run out, and you got to plan figures basically 2 years in advance. So they probably knew not to jump in with any IDW character, given that this divorce was coming.
Right. Joe Self asks, when might we get the definitive 1985 character breakdown? Soon. Whenever we have a lot coming over the next month. So depending on when the folks that we are going to have on the show come on the show, those definitive lists are there to kind of fill in the gaps. So as their schedules firm up, our schedule will firm up, and then we'll figure that out as we go. So unfortunately, I can't tell you specifically, but soon. Hans Chow, the new guy, he's asking, where does Shadow Tracker come from Pursuit of Cobra? He was brand new and way out of left field.
I mean, he was back right before I joined Hasbro, right? That was,
I think so,
11, 12-ish.
Yeah.
That whole Pursuit of Cobra line, as far as I know, was John Warden's baby. He deserves all the credit in the world for that. And he told me that Joe was kind of flying under the radar after the first movie. So the first movie didn't do quite what they wanted, but they didn't axe the item count to nothing. And they were always planning, believing the movie would do well, and they wanted to have a robust toy line, not movie robust, but still strong to get it as a bridge to the second movie. And so the second movie, I think, was greenlit pretty early. So even though number one didn't do great, they knew number two was coming. So they didn't axe the item count or the tooling budget. So Pursuit of Cobra had huge budget behind it from a toy line perspective. So all sorts of original sculpts, creative repaints, lots of item count. I remember that
fantastic work done in that line.
Yeah, and it was because it didn't have to run past Paramount or anybody, and it didn't have to match anything else. That Warden had the most creative freedom maybe ever in his Hasbro career on Pursuit of Cobra. So there's a reason why that stuff's absolutely sang, right? Because the Warden's a fantastic designer, and he had budget and item count to work with. And I don't remember who was brand managing Joe at that time. And this isn't sour grapes or a slap, but the brand managers over the last 20 years of Joe have very rarely been somebody who was dying to work on Joe. Even during the movies, it was just kind of a job, a place to be where people would come in at or would move to with hopes of doing well and moving on. There wasn't a long history of anybody who was on the Joe brand for a long time from a brand management or marketing perspective. But Warden was there for a long time before he was Mr. Transformers for a long time, and now he's onward and upward through Power Rangers. But he was left alone with a lot of budget, with a lot of item count, and a very light marketing touch. So, and I'm not speaking poorly of marketers because that's what I did. But as a designer, they would rather have a light touch for marketing than, the overbearing, this is what you have to do, this is what it has to look like, now make it cool.
Without somebody telling them that they're on spec all the time, right?
That's it. So I remember John talking about the freedom they had for a while. And I think most people hold up Pursuit of Cobra as the best figure work done in the last 22 years on Joe. It was spectacular. And Shadow Tracker is exactly what they should be doing. Brand new, unique, and fantastic. And he didn't have anything behind him, right? Nothing pushing him in the comic.
Right.
Nothing, not on screens anywhere. Just new and phenomenal. And so he's one of the marquee figures of the last 22 years, in my book.
Nightheart Productions asks, so you think Hasbro wants to get children into G.I. Joe, or is this simply a collector's market? Wishing for the glory of the 80s. It is simply a collector's market right now.
Yep.
They can say they want to get kids involved, but until we see some product on television screens, that's wishful thinking.
I mean, the closest they got was the video game, which they put some money behind, but it wasn't great. And video games they're not for, I don't care how I say it, they're not for kids. They're actually the bridge.
Right.
You want to keep kids in with some toys with digital activation and entertainment, obviously. And then as they age out, think middle school, when you wouldn't be caught dead with a Snake Eyes figure in your locker, right? But you might have an Arashikage sticker, or you'll play a game, you'll play an app. That's how you keep kids into toy when it's not cool to be into toy. And then when they get out of high school, or in high school-ish is when they're hitting the movies. They'll watch movies, right, or entertainment. And when they get to college and out of college, they've got a little money for the first time in their life. And now they're collectors. That's how you do it. And that's how Transformers was structured when I was on it and it was rolling. Not because of me, but Jerry Void, who was running Transformers, understood that stair step perfectly. And it's hard. It's a lot of plates to keep spinning. But if you do it right, you never force a fan out of your brand because you're always providing something age appropriate that they're happy to support. That's how you do it right.
Crocodile Joel McMullen, welcome back, asks, who at Hasbro makes the call on commissioning new animation, comics, etc.?
Not me.
Me neither.
That was all way, way, way above my head. So the head of the brand has some say in it, but it's above his head too. Comics and such goes through the publishing department, who are very careful not to oversaturate. And the guy who runs that, still runs it, Michael Kelly, is super smart and a great guy. So the publishing stuff has always been taken care of pretty well. But above that, I was never in the room when they were discussing the possibility for new animation or entertainment.
Matt Rubin asked, do you think Hasbro would release the newer characters they've already done in 1/18th in the 1/12 scale, like Stiletto and Tombstone?
So you like those brand new characters, do you?
Matt Rubin knows the buttons to push.
Yeah, he does. I thought they were great. Although Tombstone didn't turn out exactly how I'd hoped. There wasn't much momentum behind either of those characters, really. And no offense to Bill Nedro for his fantastic stories that Stiletto came out of. But there was never a whole lot. If there was push behind those, if they wanted to get behind them, they probably would have told IDW by now, get these guys in the book, right? Because all that takes is a phone call or an email, right? We want these guys in, and they, not in Larry's per se, but when they were running the Super comment, that was I don't want to say a finger snap. It was more collaborative than that. But if Hasbro wants somebody being pushed in those books, that's well within the give and take of that partnership to say, hey, Stalker's going to be a big part of G.I. Joe 4. So make sure he gets, we lead into that with some good Stalker stories at the time.
Yeah. Well, just look at Bomb Strike, look at Don Moreno. These are characters that have pushed from the comic book for several years now, and nothing in 1/12. So
yeah, I mean, and it
takes more.
They've done from the female figure perspective, they've done a good job of keeping female figures in that line. And I just don't think they've gotten to the level of Bomb Strike yet, which is, I don't mean it's a slap to Bomb Strike, but there's more important and more popular female characters.
She's a favorite of current fans, but a casual fan that you're trying to include in all these don't know Bomb Strike.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they're consciously avoiding Don Moreno because they don't want to muddy the waters, or didn't want to before the Snake Eyes movie came out. Now they might want to muddy the waters.
Right.
Confuse people as much as possible. Maybe they'll forget the movie.
Matt O'Brien asks, how come you guys feel like we won't be getting a mid-sized vehicle like a Vamp or Stinger in Classified? Doesn't make sense to me with the massive success of the line. I think you're misreading our sentiment. I think it's not that we don't think it's going to happen. It's just that that's going to be the most that happens. But also at the same time, we're fans. Like, we eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff. And we don't talk to the folks who are more casual. And I think, as I just remarked with the casual fans before, there's a lot more of them than we tend to think about. So you've got to make a product that appeals to everybody in the big group of Classified fans. And I think a lot of those casual fans are going to have a tough time finding the space for a 1/12 scale Vamp or a 1/12 scale Hiss or something along those lines. So it's not that it won't happen. I think our general consensus is we just think it's unlikely. I mean, like, look, they roll out a 1/12 Vamp. I'll clear out a bookshelf for it. Just there will be books strewn across the room. Just clear them out. I got it. But no, I'm just not getting my hopes up, because it would require a greater level of success than we've seen so far. Look, we've seen 1/12 scale Star Wars vehicles in the market and fail.
Yeah.
So G.I. Joe, I mean, I know it's not the same scale in terms of fandoms, but that's what you have to think of. Like, if you can't move that many units on a Star Wars vehicle, then your G.I. Joe Jeep, I don't know, doesn't have a chance.
I think it's the next, maybe I don't know about next, but I think it's a Kickstarter eventually, and I think it's 100% the Vamp.
Right.
Because of the reuse possibilities. They have Mark II, Stinger Jeep, absolutely. So I think it's down the road. But I agree. We haven't, Mike, you're exactly right. We haven't been killing the idea. We've been letting people know that we're all in agreement that that's the absolute ceiling. You'll never get anything bigger than Vamp or Hiss.
Yeah, we love it. We'd be all for it.
Yeah.
But our enthusiasm is tempered just on what we know about selling toys.
Yeah.
Cornelius McGillicuddy again. What is you guys' vision for a live action Joe product? What's the premise of the show? What characters would you use? I don't have one. I think G.I. Joe needs to be an animation. I'm tired of these live action Joe products.
I mean, if Netflix did it, I have a little bit of faith.
I want to see a nice episodic with an overarching story cartoon treatment that we've gotten out of She-Ra and He-Man twice and Voltron and all these other franchises that don't really hold a candle to G.I. Joe in terms of lore and characters. That's what I want to see before I worry about cast on a live action project.
I mean, I want to see them go after kids because that would show that they care about the brand. But the one that's there, and I fought for it while I was there. Nothing came of it. Is the Chuckles Last Laugh storyline works fantastic as a adult. I don't want to say MA rated, but maybe Netflix bit. Not because it's adult, but because it is Chuckles centered, and it's Wise Guy, it's Alias, right? Most of it takes place in hallways and warehouses. And you could do it with a reasonable budget until you get to the very end when, spoiler,
when
it's the nuclear submarine lair, right? But
even that's not terrible.
Yeah, right? Like, you could do it. You could absolutely do it. And it would hinge on Chuckles, right? He'd have to be great. Like, he's too old now, right? But Guy Pearce, I mean, perfect, right? Yeah. You need a guy with that kind of villainous edge almost to pull off Chuckles right in that story.
Somebody who could play in the gray areas.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have to say spoiler about a comic 15 years old, right? But can you imagine the cliffhanger of when he's face to face with Jinx with the gun? Like, dude, come on. Yeah, I don't care. You wouldn't even have to call it G.I. Joe. And you might get more fans if you don't call it G.I. Joe or make it overt that this is G.I. Joe, the last laugh, right? It's such a good story, and it would translate to the screen so well. So,
Colton, what's your dream live action project?
I don't know. It'd have to be maybe even an original story, because trying to rehash like origins and stuff, like they're not doing it well. So it'd have to be an original story and something that you're not trying to encompass every single person on the team and kind of start off with like 4 or 5 like individuals that you can use. And it doesn't have to be the main 4, like use some of your majors, as we say, right? Your sergeants. And then have like some of the main generals come in. But it's got to be it's the story. The story is what drives it. So it doesn't matter who you cast and what it is, but it's got to be a good story. I don't know yet. I haven't. I'll think about it.
I think it's a cool idea that you can Easter egg the hell out of it, right? Like if you're doing the Chuckles one, to have them talk about Colonel Abernathy. Right?
Yeah.
And it's a throwaway line for people who don't know, but for Joe fans that know, they're like, it's like in Civil War, when the SHIELD agent that's actually Hydra is listing off the targets for the 3 helicarriers, and he drops Stephen Strange's name in there, right? It's a throwaway. But for Marvel fans, you're like, oh, right?
Yeah.
So good when people get it that slick, right?
Yeah, you need to build your Iron Man first, so.
Yeah.
When it's not necessary, but it's there for the folks that know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so overt that it throws off somebody who doesn't know. But if you do know, it's like, there was an X-Men bit where Mystique is stealing files, and one of them is Remy LeBeau, right? Mm-hmm. It didn't have to be any more than that quick flash that somebody got a screenshot of to make X-Men fans go crazy. That stuff's brilliant.
It's also at the point where I throw it out. Oh, Gambit sucks.
Yeah.
Hans Chow says again, oh, thank the Lord. Mark Weber is answering the questions I've had for ages. Bless your soul, sir. Thank you. He's here every week, man. Tell your friends.
Honestly, I'm not in fine form or anything. This is just kind of
this is what we do.
B- Weber. Yeah. But I appreciate it. Happy to help. That'll be on my tombstone. He was happy to help. That's me.
Sorry, we probably got time for one more. So thanks everybody for their input. Here's a good one. Action Figure Expert asks, here's a question for you. Have you considered purchasing any 3D printed vehicles from some people that have been doing 3D vehicles for classified? Yeah, I thought about it. I don't have the money to do stuff like that, nor do I have the money to get a 3D printer myself and buy the files. But I mean, yeah, if somebody's going to, but that's a lot different than mass marketing a classified vehicle.
Yeah.
Way different. So
somebody did a chameleon for Zartan that looked great. And that strikes me as the kind of thing that you might be able to buy that wouldn't cripple the bank account, right? But.
All right. And yeah, we're coming up on an hour 45, so we're just gonna put a cap on crowd. Lively bunch tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good questions.
Good questions.
Run.
Very interactive.
So Joe Colton, you've been gone. You were at a show.
Yeah.
Get in.
So speaking of 3D stuff, so some of the guys at the Finest, Tom Wyckoff actually, he is doing some stuff for, okay, so first I'll show you this one. So it's like a carrying case. Can you guys see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you open it. So great. And there's guns. Look at all the weapons.
Oh, it's like.
So, like, he's been printing stuff. And then he let me fill a crate or two.
Or 5.
I was like, please don't tell Wes.
And 0 for her co-hosts.
Or her husband.
Right.
Listen,
every
man for himself. So then, like, they printed a bivouac.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Isn't this cool? Yeah.
Did you make a double-handed one to break all your fingers?
Yeah. So the print is really, really clean. You got to tune your printer. Like this one.
That's nice.
I don't know what that is.
It's a hardballs gun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And there's.
Yeah, those are really nice.
Yeah, it's a really good print. Some of them are a little rough that you just need to sand them down a little bit. But watching TV, can sand down a couple guns. And then I got this crate as well. Yeah. Oh, sorry, this way. It's blue. And then it's got like the Garrison emblem on it, which is cool. But yeah, that's what I got in Joe-wise. And then
those foot lockers by themselves are pretty awesome.
Yeah. Like they've got like little threads and stuff that you can. Yeah, they're pretty neat.
Very, very slick.
Yeah. And then like they're just stickers, but it's cool. I like them.
Price is right.
It is, but they're really good. Like he's done a good job. So I'm hoping that he prints more of these things. So.
What? Oh, people sit by me all the time.
Everybody drink.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. It's fine.
So non-Joe related, this is not going to mean anything to you guys, but so this and this are for my Judge Dredd costume. So this is a specific green, and this gold finger, it's called Sovereign Gold, impossible to find. So I've been waiting. Yeah, it's a giant tube, but like you use so little on the costume, but it like they don't make a lot of them, and when they do, like they go really quickly. So I've been waiting for 4 months for it to get back in stock. So the moment it got back in stock, I was like, oh, I shouldn't buy anything. Fuck it, I'm gonna get this.
Have you used it?
Go with the law.
Not that one. Carl Urban, man. What is wrong with you?
With the law.
I don't know.
Have you used this Goldfinger stuff before, so you know how good it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really really minor, and you just use a cloth and just spread it around, and then the green is for my like elbows and knees. But it too is hard to find, so not as hard as the gold, but it was like, Jesus Christ.
So
4 months is a long time for a tube of gold paint.
So once you're done with this, you and Wes could arrive at a show at the same day, both doing Carl Urban cosplay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And both of them kick ass.
Right? Couldn't
I'm saying that.
couldn't William do Bones? And then you got the triple threat?
I guess, yeah, you could.
I'm just here to help. Let's see. It's on the tombstone.
Mark Weber, what'd you get in?
It's small, but I got one of these from Australia and it came terribly broken. So there's a little Black Widow eagle moss.
Nice.
That I'm fond of right now.
How's the sculpt on that?
The sculpt is great. The face painting is always kind of shaky. So I'm not gonna bring it up super close to the screen, but this far away, like, yeah, it's Black Widow's killing it. The other one came with removable hands, which were not meant to be removable. So,
accidentally removable.
And redhead. So welcome to the family, Natasha.
It's on the list.
That's it. That's all I got.
I got nothing this week. Next week we'll have a bigger week.
Oh, I got something coming.
Yeah,
next week.
I got a few things in the mail. But
next week could be really good.
Yeah.
Joe Colton, who we shouting out to?
I'm gonna shout out to Maggie. She's not feeling well, so I hope that she feels better soon. She also has a cold and not feeling well, so I hope she feels better. She helped me when I had a panic attack snorkeling when we were on the cruise.
Good Lord.
And she made sure I was okay. She's just an all-around good girl. She does crazy things with me, so it's fine. A shout out to William, who didn't die this week. It's great.
So there's that.
Changing hands.
Yes. My husband, who brought my phone and made my dessert tonight, so and has been helping me all week. So I've been pretty busy, but I had a fan tell me that I look young today, so it's like the best best compliment of the week. And then my parents, who I may or may not see for Greek Easter, so they've been really good, and we've been video chatting.
When is Greek Easter?
I think it's a week or two after Catholic Easter.
All right.
So
it's like the Canadians and their Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Mark Weber, who we shouting out to?
Well, I mean, let's shout out Racktime Rob for succumbing to whatever was powerful enough to put him on the injured list for 3 days. So kudos to him. A shout out to my buddy Brent, my partner at Eternal Baseball. As our season rolls past 100 games, catch him and I on the Eternal Baseball podcast Sunday nights at 9 on YouTube. And shout out to Call Sign Longbow, since I unintentionally missed him last week.
Whatever, unintentionally.
Hey, it was good. I made up a good story. Ain't nobody arguing with that.
Right. My first shout out could be summed up best in pictures, not words.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
I forgot something when we were getting out of the news. That was it. Can't remember to play the sponsor spot.
Come on.
Shout out to Kokomo Toys. Thank you, Todd and Amber. Give a shout out to. I'll double up your shout out to Racktime Rob. If this dude is sick, it's something hairy, and frankly, we may all be dying soon. Because again, Racktime Rob has the constitution of a vending machine, to borrow a phrase. So if he's sick, it's bad.
It's coming.
Right? I mean, say nice things about me. Could be my last episode.
We're gonna call it the Omega variant.
Right. I'm gonna send all the passwords to Joe Colton just in case.
I like how I'm the one who gets them, not Mark. Like,
I'm the new guy.
You
Always
have tenure. You have tenure.
All right.
She got 4 or 5 years on Ricky.
On to him, by all means, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I trust me. I'm in control of it. It's fine.
She got 4 or 5 years on Ricky.
Right. Jesus. But yeah. Shout out to you guys, of course, to Mark Weber, to Joe Colton. Shout out to everybody who's watching us live tonight. We really appreciate you. If you're watching us on Facebook, by all means, give us some kind of reaction. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a heart. Give us a little huggy guy. We love little huggy guy. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like our video. Leave a big boy comment down below when we're done here. Share us in your social media circles. And by all means, subscribe to the channel. Nothing helps us more than watching our videos and subscribing on YouTube. Absolutely.
Like and subscribe.
Want to give an extra special shout out to a couple of folks in the community who do good work for us and have done good work for us in the past, and just got to reach out to them and touch base. And of course, our good friend Hooded Cobra Commander 788 Brian Lower, to our old pal at formerly of yojo.com Terry Dezard. Good to hear from everybody, and hope things are going well on that end. And that's all we got. We're out of time. Nothing fills up a 2-hour like us talking about reveals.
Chock full.
So, but for my co-hosts Mark Weber and Joe Colton, I'm Mike Irizarry. Everybody have a great rest of the weekend. Take care of yourselves. Be safe if you can't. Be careful. And just remember, be kind to one another. It's been a rough couple. Look, the honcho's wearing down as we speak. He's losing constantly.
Rob.
Failed the Constitution roll.
I take it back, Rob. No more shout out. Screw you. Hope you die. That's right. I went NWO live on the air for life.
Be sure to follow us on social media. All the links are down below. Got the pre-orders down there as well, and we'll have the get ready site on Kickstarter for Patty and Brian's next volume of Total Action Force. But again, for my co-hosts Mark Weber and Joe Colton, for our host in absentia, Racktime Rob, I'm Mike Irizarry. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and Yojo.